welcome to Butterflies of Wisdom today. And not only do you have me, you have Dr. Anthony. And Dr. Anthony is a doctor of medicine, but we're not necessarily going to be talking about medicine and exercise all the way around. We're going to be using baseline questions that I sent all you guys and using that and sculpting the conversation around medicine. As you guys know, I have hemiplegia cerebral palsy, so medicine and me don't get along, but it fascinates me. The body just fascinates me. I should have got a PhD in medicine or something, because over the years I have learned so much about my own body, but enough with me and rambling on. I'm going to let Dr. Anthony take it away.
I am so happy to be here. Thanks for having me, Wynn. So we'll kick it off. I'd like to do a little introduction, just to maybe tell people a little bit about my background and how we connected. So my name is Dr. Anthony Balduzzi, and I run a website called the Fit Father Project. And what I do is I specialize in health for busy fathers, and I help men lose weight, get healthy, and really so they can stay strong for their families. And the reason I got interested in health is because in my dad's life, you know, health, medicine, and his body didn't exactly get along either. I watched my dad get very sick growing up after working long hours and not taking care of himself. And when I was 9, my dad passed away from cancer. And that definitely shaped my early life a lot and really gave me an appreciation for how important health is, and kind of ignited a mission in me, much like you have a mission, Wynn, as well. But my mission is to specifically help other guys like my dad who kind of feel trapped by busy jobs and responsibilities figure out how to make eating, exercise, and this health stuff simple and sustainable so they can, you know, really be around to watch their kids grow up, which is, you know, something that unfortunately my dad missed out on. So that's what I do in a nutshell.
And I don't know if you know this, but I connected with you on Twitter because I thought your story was fascinating. Obviously, I said, can I interview you? Not knowing necessarily you were going to say yes, but I don't know if you know that I lost my mom to a brain aneurysm / meningitis. So that's why I'm on a kick to keep people healthy, not only in my own life, but all throughout the disabled community, because I'm like, that could have been easily prevented. The brain aneurysm, not necessarily, but the meningitis could have been easily prevented. And unfortunately, a bunch of hockey players came into the ward with meningitis and basically killed 11 families. 11 families, including my own family, lost a loved one to meningitis. And the hospital still haven't admitted what they have done. 6.5 years later, they just said, we've given this woman all the medications we can. Nothing is working. She's slowly dying, and we'll put her medically into coma and leave her to die, essentially. So that's why I'm such on a big kick to get the disabled, and excuse my French, but off their lazy asses to do something. And so to get back to your point, you want to get people off their asses to do something new.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely want to get people off their asses. And I think part of that is definitely motivating people, but it's also creating the right kind of health plans that aren't so overly rigid and restrictive that they're unsustainable. Because that's what happens, you know, people get off their asses for a few weeks, and then they just can't keep up with the plan. So what I like to do is really just figure out how to create sustainable health plans. And so do you want to move on to the next question? I know we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I do. Now, are you integrating these? This was my next question, and I'll get to the baseline questions. But are you integrating these health plans into everyday life? Or are you making it like the Atkins diet where you have to buy specific food for the diet?
Great question. The first one, 100%, is I think that health plans should be built to fit people, not the other way around. And I think we have a problem where with a lot of these very restrictive diets that people have to begin to mold their life and some of their natural tendencies to a plan that's very rigid and restrictive and unnecessarily complicated. Now, that's not to say that we shouldn't adopt new healthy habits and change our ways. It's just saying that something like the Atkins diet is very effective in the short term for weight loss. When people dramatically reduce their carbohydrate intake, they lose weight. But I don't know how many people that did Atkins in the 90s that are still doing that today. So what I teach guys to do is to start a plan that's sustainable from day one, so that 10 years from now, they're still, on track and they haven't rebounded and fallen off track.
So my first baseline question is, what has been your favorite entrepreneurial moment in all this?
Yeah, I think my favorite moment, because, in designing the Fifth Father Project and running a website and building a program, there's so much behind the scenes work that went into like building these programs and all the articles and the videos. My favorite moment was the very first progress picture that I got from a guy named Jorge. Jorge, if you're out there, thank you, my friend. I built one of our online programs, and Jorge lives across the world. Never met the guy, but he went through our online course. He purchased it, and he sent me a note with a picture. And he's like, Dr. Anthony, you changed my life. I'm down 30 pounds, and I can now finally keep up with my kids again. I think that was a moment that will always be incredibly special for me, because it was the first time that I saw the work that I was doing out in the world changing people's lives, and doing it in a way that was a lot more expansive than just treating people in my office, like one-on-one doctor work. This was the way that I was able to reach, now at this point, we've helped over 22,000 fathers with our programs. But Jorge being the first one was like, that was my entrepreneurial moment. That first progress picture that was like, wow, everything's worth it. Yeah, we've helped a lot of guys.
A lot of guys. Jeez, 22,000. My God. To all the women out there, you should probably get your husband or father into this program, because Anthony pretty much knows his stuff. And what was the why develop? What was your why? I know you said to your dad, but what was the why getting out of the office and doing this website and helping all these guys?
So going through medical school, I found that we have a couple things going on in our current, I'll back up for a second, a couple things going on in our current medical landscape. We have a new emergence of so many chronic diseases. We've gotten really good at fixing acute illness, so people are getting, but we have so much chronic disease that's happening, and not all of it. I mean, there's things like CP that we just, this stuff can be, genetically happen. It can happen with, right at birth and before birth. But a lot of these chronic diseases that people have, with heart disease, diabetes, obesity, the lifestyle contributes to those tremendously. And what I realized going through, medical school is that I would find myself repeating myself to patients all the time and telling them the same core things about how to manage their diets, how to clean up their exercise, how to do the things that, make like keep your immune system strong, keep the weight off. In your mom's case, keep her immune system strong so she didn't get, she wasn't as susceptible to the meningitis she caught. I found myself repeating all these same lessons over and over. So I'm like, hey, what if I could just, build a platform where I could teach this stuff, once and then distribute it to the world? That could have a lot bigger impact than me continuously telling one person the same thing over and over. And so I sought out to figure out how to do that. And that's why I built the website. And, I have a soft spot for dads with what my father went through. So that's why specifically I help fathers with the Fit Father Project.
Okay. And now I'm going to get you on a little bit of a soapbox, and then we'll go back to the baseline questions.
Okay.
What do you think professors should be doing in the medical school that they're not doing?
Definitely. Well, we have a couple things. First off, we have a medical system that is very drug driven. The medical profession is much a medical industrial profession, which is a conglomeration of insurance companies largely dictating how doctors actually practice. And we also have pharmaceutical companies that, can create a drug for any possible quote unquote problem, and they market that as a solution that anyone can have. And we have a culture that, it kind of has this quick fix, you have high cholesterol or high blood pressure. Here, take these pills instead of let's address the core cause of why this might be happening. And I think that what medical school could do a lot better is really teaching doctors how to treat a person holistically and how to really work with people to treat the root cause of illness as opposed to just writing a prescription. If you go into any doctor's office these days with high cholesterol and you haven't seen a physician in a while, let's say you go in for a yearly checkup with your primary care physician, they'll have about maybe about 15 to 30 minutes to try to figure out what's going on with you if you're lucky on the 30 side, and then you will leave with a prescription for a statin medication to lower your cholesterol. And so I think the thing I would like to see is I like this very famous quote from I think it's either Benjamin Franklin or Thomas Edison, but he said that the doctor of the future, and this was in the late 1700s, the doctor of the future will prescribe the least medicine possible and will concern himself or herself with perfecting the diet and lifestyle of the individual. It's a little bit of a paraphrase, but I think that's something that we still haven't nailed. In fact, we're kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum.
People are amazed, and I admitted this publicly before, so it's public knowledge. People are amazed that I am walking around with moderate hemiplegia cerebral palsy, and I'm on no medications for cerebral palsy. The only thing I'm taking is a vitamin D pill.
Good.
Which that's the only thing I'm taking. And people are amazed because I'm on a walker and I am just trumping along with cerebral palsy. Doctors are amazed by that. Doctors are every 2 seconds try to give me a new prescription for cerebral palsy, and I'm like, nope, I don't want it. I want to deal with cerebral palsy the way it's meant to be dealt with. And it's like,
yes.
Oh, you want it? I've been called a bad patient before. I've been called bad patient because I don't listen to doctors necessarily. I do what feels best for my body, and my body likes alternative medicine, alternative PTs, or alternative stuff. Now, I do take the occasional Advil, but on the occasion, I'm not taking the Advil every single day. But no, doctors are amazed that I have a condition like CP, and I'm walking and talking and dealing with CP as it comes along naturally. So
I love that win. That's great.
For you. Thank you. Thank you. And I think everyone should be dealing with their own disability naturally as it comes along. I've had too many surgeries and too much medical malpractice in my life to now be dealing with medications every single day. Now, what is your favorite book? It doesn't have to be medical related book.
Yeah, no, my favorite books are not medical.
Oh,
yeah. My favorite books are
you spend too much time with.
I've read enough. Yeah, I've read enough medical textbooks. I don't need any more of those. My favorite book is actually called The Great Work of Your Life by Stephen Cope. And it is a fantastic book that I don't think enough people have heard about. And I hadn't even heard about it until about a year and a half ago when it became my favorite book. And it discusses the concept of Dharma, meaning that each one of us here is on Earth for a mission that's bigger than ourselves. You know, whether it doesn't matter what you believe religiously, if you believe it's a divine mission, if you believe in God or not God, but that we have something to do here, some great work of our life that must come out of us. And it highlights some of the lives of people who have lived lives of Dharma. Gandhi, Mother Teresa, Harriet Tubman. It goes through, historically shows their lives and pulls out some amazing lessons and helps you reflect on your own life to discover your own Dharma. And it's just a really well-written, captivating book that really touched me because I'm constantly in the process of living my Dharma. With the work I do with the Fit Father Project, I mean, in both of our lives and everybody listening, we've had a unique set of circumstances that's created the most unique life possible for you and me. And from that life, a lot of good stuff can come and work that we can do in the world to make this a better place because of who we are and what we've gone through. So that's my favorite book, hands down, right now.
I definitely agree. And could that book be found on Amazon?
Yes,
and
that's right.
Audible.
It's on Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Actually,
so
it's not on Audible. It's not on Audible last time I checked, but it is on Amazon. But maybe we can write the guy, Stephen Cope, and get him to record an audio.
Yeah, but that's a whole nother kettle of fish in itself. Hopefully someone will stick it on Audible because that sounds like a fascinating book, and a lot of my audience is disabled, so they specifically like Kindle books and Audible books. And so, even though Audible doesn't sponsor this podcast, I wish it would. And so, maybe we can get it on Audible eventually, but for right now, you guys, I'm sorry you have to go pick up the soft copy of the book or the hard copy of the book off Amazon. It's not easy to find. So Stephen Cope, if you just type in Stephen Cope on Amazon, I'm sure that book will pop up. And what is your favorite technology tool that you use on a daily basis, Anthony?
Favorite tech tool on a daily basis. I have a system that runs my online business, enables me to manage those 22,000 fathers in our programs and on our email list and all that stuff. And Infusionsoft is kind of like an email service, but it also enables us to build programs in there that people can go through. It's just an incredibly powerful program building, marketing tool, email tool, and it runs it's like the skeleton of the Fit Father Project is all built on that. So I'm in there more hours than I care to admit in that tool, and it's not necessarily for it's only really for people who are running bigger online businesses, but it's amazing. And so for me, that's my favorite.
Infusionsoft. And what if you had to be educated by anyone inside or outside your field? Probably not inside your field. Who would it be and why?
Easy question for me. 100% Leonardo da Vinci. would be who I would love to be educated by. I just think, obviously the definition of the Renaissance man, as they say, and he just such an inspiring life because, he definitely had a medical background, but he was also into art, design, and I'd love to just see how his brain thinks and how expansive he was. And I just don't know how many modern Renaissance men and women we have these days that are up to a Leonardo da Vinci kind of caliber. So I've always been fascinated by him growing up. So I would love to be educated by him.
Well, I didn't know he had a medical background. I knew his art history, but I didn't know he had a medical background. See, you teach me something every single day. See, my interviewees teach me something. Wow. Now I have to go Google his medical background because I didn't know what to know today. He had a medical background. He would take bodies of people who were recently deceased and he would study them. And the reason he was able to actually do such good art and such realistic art is that he studied anatomy and he would dissect bodies and he was amazing. And we learned a lot about, some of the early stuff we learned about the human body came from the anatomy sketches that Leonardo did because he was working with human bodies, and he studied it so much. So, incredible human. I did not know that. Now, where can the people find you, and how could people get a hold of you, and how could people get a hold of your fascinating project, which I think the woman listening should give the gift of health for Father's Day next weekend. Hint, hint. It's not too late. Hint, hint. No. It's not too late. So if you're still looking for Father's Day gift, give the gift of health. Yeah, and on that note, just because you brought it up, we here at the Fit Father Project, we do 2 big celebrations every year with our products where we give, usually over 50% off access. And one of those is Father's Day every year. We celebrate Father's Week, and we make sure that we get the programs into the hands of guys and their families who really want that stuff. So that's an option as well. And in January 1st for New Year's to make sure people can kick the year off right. And where they can find out information on all of our stuff, our articles, our videos, our programs, and all of our free stuff as well is fitfatherproject.com. That's www.fitfatherproject.com. And we have links on the site to our YouTube channel, to our big Facebook page. We're also on Twitter is where we connected to win. And we just started Instagram as well. So you can check us out on any platform you like. We'd love to talk to you. And I do, especially when we have these very personal interviews and podcasts, I do like to leave my personal email as well in case someone wants to drop a message. And that's Anthony@fitfatherproject.com. And we'll have all the information in the show notes, you guys. So anyone that's listening that wants Father's Day gift, hit up Anthony and he'll get you on the right track. I know he will because that's what he's all about. And so, Anthony, what questions do you have for me? Yeah, I have two that I've been wanting to ask you. The first one is, what is, it doesn't have to be the greatest, but one of the biggest lessons that you've learned from running Butterflies of Wisdom? Oh, God. I would say how to get rid of a speech impediment, which is part of cerebral palsy. Man, when you have a podcast and you have a speech impediment, which you were self-conscious of, man, you get rid of it quickly after hearing your own voice after 100 interviews. Man, you get rid of that so quickly. And I get to learn things every single day from my interviewees, like the facts about Leonardo da Vinci. I did not know that up until good. So I get to learn about fascinating stories about why people started their companies. And that's the God honest truth. That's why I kind of started this podcast.
Awesome answer. My second one. Are you ready for it?
Yes.
Okay. So in the past year or the past few years, like more recently, what has living with CP taught you? What are the new lessons that you've learned from, I mean, you've had CP for your whole life. What have you learned most recently?
I have learned most recently to be in love with not only the people around me, the physical people around me that want to help me, but being in love with adaptive technology, whether it be a walker to help me get places, whether it be a iPhone to communicate with rock stars like you, whether it be an iPhone for my advocacy work, whether it be just communicating with a friend. I have realized that since my mom has passed away, I've realized that never take life too seriously and enjoy the moments of life.
Great lessons. Great lessons. And I'm really happy. I think what we're going to see, just from having a little bit of a medical insider's perspective, is over the next few years, there's going to be so much new technology that is going to revolutionize what it's like to live with any kind of disability. It is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, there's a lot of challenges we have with living in a society where technology is developing so quickly. I think it's going to transform the medical industry and the level of care that people and patients receive tremendously. So I'm very excited to see how that shapes up. Because I think what it looks like to live with CP today
agree.
And what it looks like in 10 years is going to be completely different.
I definitely agree. And I definitely agree. And I'm doing a alternative PT program where I'm the only woman in the country with cerebral palsy walking in an exoskeleton, and that's
that's
phenomenal. That's pretty phenomenal.
So phenomenal.
You can, if you guys go to the Bridging Bionics Facebook page, it's Bridging Bionics, and all the information for that one is in the show notes too. And a friend of mine crowdfunded her own exoskeleton and then didn't have time to use it. So she decided, well, since I have this over $1,000 machine, I might as well create my own non-profit, thank you very much, and give this $1,000 machine as a gift back to the community. And so I've been doing this for about a good year, and it's improved my gait so much and my back strength and everything else. So I agree when you say technology is going to change in about 10 years. I mean, when I was born in 87, it ceased to amaze me that they kept me alive enough to medevac me from Aspen, Colorado to Denver, Colorado, because at the time we did not have a neonatal intensive care unit up here. So those minutes were crucial, and now technology has helped all of us, all over the planet, disabled or not. But I can't wait to see the robotic technology within the next 10 years. And all that information, you guys, for the Bridging Bionics Foundation can be found in the show notes. So if you guys want to make a donation in honor of me, that would be wonderful, because right now we're solely funded by donations, and I just think it's the best thing since sliced button. You can see videos on their Facebook page of me walking in that exoskeleton. And so I I can't wait to see what technology brings us in medical field.
Yeah, I agree, and that's fantastic. I'm going to check out, right when we get off the call, I'm going to check out the Facebook page, and I'll make a donation.
Yeah, and I will. We appreciate that, and we definitely appreciate your insight, Anthony, as to what we can do to make the program better and make it more feasible to the disabled. It's primarily used for people that are paralyzed right now, and how they got their funding was through Berkeley and Harvard, and then big funding came through the U.S. Army. So the big funding for the exoskeleton came through the U.S. Army. So it's amazing technology. I just hope it gets improved over the next 10 years, because people ask me all the time, why don't you have this at your house? I say, I wish I did, but it's too big to have at my house. I want something a little bit smaller than a big giant exo, but I think over time medical technology is going to change.
Completely. I agree, Wynn. Well, thank you. This was a great time to get in. Glad we got to spend some time talking.
Well, we have to do it again. And you guys, this has been Anthony, and he's trying to help all of us live better lives. And with medical technology changing, you never know what I'll come up with next. But he's just trying to help all of us live better lives. And I appreciate Anthony's time. I definitely appreciate your time today, all you guys. And as I said, I'll be turning 30 in about 2 weeks. So
yeah, happy birthday, June 22nd, right?
Yes. And eek, that's a little scary. That 30-year-old with CP, as I said, without medical technology, I don't think I would be here. I don't think I would be on this planet, no. So, well, thank you. And so we have some very interesting things coming up on the podcast, and then we'll delve into that as soon as we can and make the end of June mightily special. But you guys, I thank you. I thank Anthony for coming on and sharing his story. And please go check out his website for Father's Day. And I hope you guys enjoyed another fabulous episode. This podcast has been sponsored by Grace by Grit. Grace by Grit is a clothing line out of California, and they're giving you guys 20% off when you type in Exo Butterflies at checkout. Go check out their moisture-resistant workout lines, and you guys should be all set. Please consider your health before this day. I can't emphasize that enough, nor can Anthony, and I hope you guys enjoyed another fabulous episode. Thanks to you guys.
Bye, Wynn. Take care. Thank you. Did we get it?